The use of fresh herbs in the kitchen is very commonplace. When they arrive, though, they're always in various states of usability. As you can see with this cilantro, it's arrived to our kitchen very, very dirty and is going to require some washing. Typically, washing can be done by soaking the herb for a brief period of time in cold water and agitating it just gently to try to work some of the soil loose. You would do this repeatedly until the water actually runs clear. You can also do this in a large sink of water or under running water. And as you can see, just from one simple rinsing, these herbs were very dirty. With cilantro, which is the herb that I'm working on now, this herb is used usually leaf and stem and all. So to prepare it for use, we would probably just cut this small amount of root off. And then depending on the use called for in your recipe, you may be pulling just leaves from the stems like this. In most Asian and South American cuisines where cilantro is called for, we chop it stem and all. The stem is very flavorful and aromatic. Right, so coarsely chopped, now ready for use in salsa or in your favorite stir fry. Important to always wipe down your board in between use so that you don't pass on flavors one to the other. The next herb I'm going to work on is fresh basil. When choosing the basil that you're going to be chopping, you want to choose leaves that show little or no signs of bruising. The stems and leaves that have some minor darkening are perfectly acceptable to be used for making reductions. Now, a common cut for basil is to take the largest leaves, stack them one on top of the other, and if you have small leaves that you need to work with, these also can be just stacked within the pile. We then roll the leaves into a tight roulade and then cut them very, very closely into short, thin shreds. This cut is called chiffonade. The last herb I'm going to be working on is fresh chives. Chives, again, very perishable, best cut right before you're going to use them. The first thing I'll do is take a selection of the chives and look over them to see if there are any chives that seem limp or flat, bruised, or have lost their vibrancy. If that's the case, you would just set them aside. They also could be used for making an infusion where they're going to be strained out at a later point. Now, what I would suggest are a couple different methods. One is they can be snipped with a pair of kitchen shears. All right, so snipped chives would be literally just snipping them with scissors. If you have a very nice sharp knife, you would also be able to cut them with a knife. The one thing we typically don't do with chives is to chop them in the same manner as we would chop parsley. That way, the integrity of the chive is kept intact. What's most important in handling of fresh herbs is that you work with them quickly, that you be sure to clean them before you chop them or process them for consumption, and that you choose the freshest ones possibly available.